1957 four-door. Coming in for what? Coming in for, what should we call this? Revival. '04. Man, I didn't hear any rust roll down the hood. Original 283. Still got the generator. Man, these little tiny master cylinders blow my mind. Look at that thing. For such a big car. God, this thing's a real good example of one that has been preserved. So has it actually been 20 years since it's run?
Yeah.
All right, so here we are under this 57. We've got a new fuel tank coming. I think he said it's coming from California. It's supposed to be here next week. But this thing is in excellent shape. I mean, the inner fenders and everything looks so good. I mean, this is very rare to see one of these in this kind of shape. It's never been cut up. Floors are in really good shape. Exhaust, original rubber. Those are the exhaust hangers are cracked. I mean, that's easy, simple to deal with. Old body bushings are still in good shape. No long muffler. Old 3-speed transmission. 283. Surely that engine has already been out and rebuilt at some point in its history. Looks like it's got a new fuel pump up in there. It does have new, or I say new, it's probably 20 years new, but the brake lines and wheel cylinders have been replaced before. We're going to do that anyway, just because they are old. We have the parts to do it. Yeah, it's a really nice example of a very well preserved 1957. The only rot I did see is on the floor pan right there, driver's floor pan. It's got a few, it got some rot in it right there, but that would be so easy to replace on this car. And then it had a little bit on this side right there. Not bad though. Looks like the rear diff was probably leaking and spraying all over, or either that's universal joint grease spraying all over the rear floor. Rear brake lines have been replaced in the past. That's good. That means when I replace them, they're going to be easier to get off the car. This thing has BF Goodrich Lifesavers. Steel belted radial. That would not be the factory tire for this car. They would have had bias ply. I mean, you don't ever see bumpers in that good a shape either. I'm wondering if those bumpers have been re-chromed or replaced at one time. Not sure. Because obviously the car has been painted before. But still, for the frame and the structural integrity of the car to be that good. We've got some Bondo here. You can see the edge. So this fender low has some Bondo in it. Maybe it had some rust there before, or some kind of damage. What's this side look like? A little bit of Bondo hanging over the edge here. Probably had to skim that lower portion of that fender. That's not uncommon. They didn't, when they painted it, they didn't get low. They missed there, which is fine. A little bit of body filler there on this edge. Bottom edge of this door has got a little bit. That's fine though. I mean, you can't expect not to find any at all in something this old. I mean, 1957, that's a long time ago. You do the math. I don't want to do that math. That's in 2027, that this car will be 70 years old. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. 70 years old. That's crazy. 70-year-old car. I guess right now it's 67 years old. My math is correct. Well, we'll get started on it next week. Draining the fuel out of this thing, and that thing's got some old fuel. It looks like the color of pee, but it's got some stink to it. I'm gonna get ready to pull all the wheels off of this thing. I think he said they had some wide white white walls, really wide ones coming for this thing. So we need to go ahead and get the wheels off and have them ready for the tires to be changed, and go ahead and start looking at the brakes and stuff on it. Okay, so we were looking for where you fill the tank up, and it took us about 10 minutes to figure out it's behind that fin. Probably everybody knows that except for us. So we are replacing the wheel cylinders, not the brake shoes. I think I've already told you that. The brake lines, the rubber brake lines, they're coming off fairly well. Like I said, although they have been replaced in the car's lifetime, and they just, at first glance, they don't look too bad. They've been in that position for so many years, and they have to flex when the car moves. So they are, just from sitting, dry. So you don't want to, the best thing to do is replace them with new rubber so that these don't crack, because they will once you start steering the car, driving the car. These things flex, they'll crack, and then you've got problems. So we've got the new brake lines here that we'll be putting on there. They're nice and flexible. I put a little rubber cap over my brake line there so we don't lose the brake fluid. Socket take that nut off of there. Actually, it's not a nut, it's a bolt. And then the old master cylinder comes off really easy. Or not master cylinder, old wheel cylinder. Just like I said, those wheel cylinders have been replaced in the past too. But you've got rubber seals inside of those. And that stuff over time gets dry. It's just the best thing, the safest thing if this car is going to be driven and used is to replace all the brakes, all the rubber of the brakes, the brake lines, the wheel cylinders, the brake linings. We're not doing those again. They're in really good shape. I think they'll be fine. We'll put new grease in the bearings. Matter of fact, I've already got this side over here done. Got that repacked, got the drum back on it. You can see the new brake line is in there, and you see what I mean, how far that flexes when you steer the car. Okay, so we've got all the front and rear brakes done, wheel cylinders and brake lines. This rear brake line to the axle is the only thing left there. So we get that done. And then the master cylinder. We do have a new fuel pump going on this. There's the new rear brake line. So shouldn't really be too far away from cranking this. All right, so on the 57, we've got the master cylinder installed. We've got the front brakes, the front wheel cylinders, I've got those gravity bled. I'm waiting on the back to gravity bleed. I don't have any help right now to bleed them properly. I think I'll go ahead and turn the motor over, start turning the engine over, and see if we can get some fuel up to that fuel bowl. Okay, I guess my flashlight fell. I seen a flash of light, thought something exploded. Trying to get some fuel up there. Oh, it doesn't appear that we're pulling any fuel for some reason. Let me squirt a little squirt down in that carburetor. I don't have much of anything. I don't have any fuel here now that we filled the tank up. A little bit of fuel, a little bit of starter fluid. Just to see if she's going to pop. She may not even be getting fire. Yeah, she's getting fire. She's going to run. But we got to figure out why we're not getting fuel. We got a brand new pump. We are making progress on the 57. He's got his white walls on. Get all the brakes finished and bled. I'm about to put a carburetor on it. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. All right, hang on. Well, there it goes. That's crazy. So we got us a new base plate gasket on that factory carburetor. We eliminated that bowl there in case it would leak. And he fired right up. Running smooth and quiet. Probably wouldn't hurt to idle up a little bit, huh? That's a quiet motor. Accelerates good too. '57 Chevy. Original motor, original carburetor. Hasn't run in 20 some odd years. Didn't have to mess with the points. I mean, good grief, that just takes all the fun out of it. Yeah. No drama. How we're supposed to sell this with no drama. Okay, 1957 Chevy Photo test drive. It's kind of odd though, that difference in color, ain't it? Think it's idled too high?
No. Because the generator light was on till you idled.
Oh, okay, good. That confirms that. This is how it was in 1957. Driving off of the showroom floor with a brand new 57. Family car. Uh-oh. Temperature gauge seemed to work? Not yet. Fuel gauge?
Fuel gauge does.
This thing is so smooth.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Here, overdrive.
Oh my gosh. I'm scared to pull that. I had an old Fairlane 62 that had that same system. You pull it for overdrive.
See if there's any money in there.
In here?
Yeah.
This thing is so quiet. I did not expect that. Coming in somewhere, right there. Get that closed. Felt good though. Right here's a open that for a vent, cold air vent. It's just as quiet and smooth as most new cars. good?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I guess when it's not revved up.
Yeah.
It's on.
That's pretty common for an old generator. Best thing to do would be eventually switch it over to alternator. 'Cause you got not only the generator, but then the voltage regulator as well. Either one of those can cause issues. '57. This headliner's nice too. Nope. All right, 1957 Chevy revived. Thanks for watching.